جماعة صغيرة من المؤمنين بالحرية اجتمعوا فقرروا ثم نفذوا خطة جريئة وكبيرة لكسر الحصار الإسرائيلي العسكري غير الشرعي ضد غزة وأهلها. 4 سنوات مضت والعزيمة باقية، لم ولن تهون. حكاية تحرير غزة من داخل غزة الحرة. معكم زينب الصفار، تابعونا. إنها قصة الحب الأبدي بين بحاري الحرية والشعب الفلسطيني، قصة حب لا ولن تنسى، قصة يرويها 24 شخصاً من الذين كانوا إما على متن إحدى قوافل الحرية أو كانوا ينتظرونهم على شاطئ غزة، قصة يؤرشفها كتاب Freedom Sailors أو بحارو الحرية. منذ 4 أعوام انطلقت طليعة قوافل الحرية العالمية إلى غزة، وكانت الأولى منذ 41 عاماً. أعضاء من غزة الحرة كانوا بين المنظمين والمبحرين، هم أمضوا 2 من العناء والمصاعب والتكاليف الباهظة للوصول إلى غزة، حيث كان في استقبالهم أكثر من 40,000 من أبناء غزة. بحسب أحد الغزيين، إنه لمن أجمل الأحلام بالنسبة لنا أن نرحب بهذين القاربين الآتيين إلى غزة من دون طلب الموافقة من قوات الاحتلال الإسرائيلية. لأول مرة منذ عام 67 تظهر قوارب في الأفق، وهذا دليل على أننا غير منسيين. وهذا البحر الهادئ والمقفل والسري جداً بات يشكل هاجساً مخيفاً لإسرائيل. قائد هذه القوارب ومبتدع فكرتها البروفيسور اليوناني إيفانجيلوس بسياس، المتخصص في هندسة الموارد المائية، يتحدث بالتفصيل عن استراتيجية هذه المبادرات لكسر الحصار على غزة وعن المشاريع المستقبلية. Professor Besias Vangelis, welcome to the Inside.
Thank you. I'm glad to be with you.
We're happy to have you, sir. Now, you are one of the forerunners of the Free Gaza movement to break the siege on Gaza. And you're also one of the masterminds, the architects of the Freedom Flotilla. How successful, in your opinion, were such kind of initiatives, and what were their ultimate aim?
I think it was successful, but it's not up to me to talk about that. I think that the Palestinians, they have first to answer if what we tried to offer to the Palestinian cause, it was positive and how much positive it was. But our impression is that we did something, and this is the past. We are continuing to do something. This is the present. These days, our new project is ongoing, and we will continue in the future.
We will talk further about this ongoing project, but what is the ultimate aim behind such kind of boats and flotillas and initiatives?
The ultimate aim is to open the sea in this area of the world. It's maybe the only shore, a very small shore, maybe 40 kilometers in the Mediterranean Sea, which is thousands and thousands of kilometers, which is closed, which became like a prison for the Palestinian people.
It is an open prison, as they say,
It's an open
of
prison.
the Gazans.
And I can talk about my country now, just
Greece.
2 words, Greece.
Yes.
We are sailors. We live in a country which is surrounded by the sea. For us, the sea is the most important thing in our life. We cannot imagine our life without this access to the sea. Sea is freedom for us. Sea is our phantasms, is the world. It's the way to communicate with the world. Sea has, for our history and our civilization, had always a very big impact. We cannot imagine
So you can understand the real dilemma of the Gazans when they have a sea, but they cannot go through the sea.
Yes, and we cannot understand the hypocrisy of the global societies, of all these big countries. They don't care about that, and they close their eyes in front of such a crime.
However, those maybe some sides of those people that you are blaming are also saying that you are just mere media bubbles that are trying to deviate the attention and the attraction from the basic needs of the imprisoned Gazans.
But our aim is opening the sea shore and giving the possibility to the Gazan people to have access to the rest of the world and to facilitate the trade, the communication, is exactly the contrary. We facilitate the life of these people there. The economy will start again to develop, and there will be again relations between the Gazans and the other people of the region, of the area. So we think that it's very important for the life of the Palestinians and the Gazans, essentially, to let them communicate with the rest of the world, to let them create their own economic and social and national space.
Sir, you're part of the European campaign of trying to break the siege against the Gazans. Now, we all know that Europe is passing through this phase of this big economic crisis that is just crippling economies here and there. Are the Europeans still interested? Are they still giving this part of the world this importance that they should be giving to the Palestinians, particularly the Gazans?
I have to say something about the Europeans. The Europeans, they were satisfied in their house for many, many years. The Europeans now, they have to start to think about their future. Their future is not anymore this closed area where Europeans had the possibility to have a safe life, a good life, to have the possibility for a very big development without taking care to what happened in their surrounding region and areas. For the Europeans also, it's needed actually to understand what's ongoing in this area,
this part of the world,
this part of
the
the
Middle
world,
East region, yes.
and to rethink how their future is related with the future of the peoples of this world. And the second point is that the Europeans, they have to realize that without respect on human values, there is a decline. The decline is mainly concerning now the European countries. We are not only in Europe in an economical crisis, we are also in a cultural crisis, in a crisis of related to the human values. So if Europe wants to restart, the Europeans have to think in another model of development, and this model of development is related with the peoples of the area, with the development of the Mediterranean Sea and all this surrounding
Are
area.
they really working on the issue?
The
Or they are
governments-
being, you know, it's just like quicksands and they're getting more away from this cultural
The governments
aspect?
maybe know. Unfortunately, the media in Europe, they are not working in this direction. But we are sure, I'm taking into consideration what is ongoing in my country. We are in a very big crisis. All of you know that Greece is in,
The austerity and
yes, the austerity, and we are in a very difficult situation. But we, the Greeks, we understand that this culminant point, this critical point, it's maybe the starting point in order to think again about our future. There is not only bad things related to this crisis, there are also new options and new thoughts are coming up. And I think that the new generation in my country will think his future and will start to think about his future in relation with a new model of life.
Excellent.
This model of life needs peace, needs human rights, needs good
Respect
relations.
of real human
yes,
rights.
needs dignity. It's not always the consumerist model.
Yes. So we're
that
going to see more people from Greece taking
Yes.
part in the flotillas or the boats to come, whatever.
We are always in a very difficult situation because the list of people asking to participate in our projects is huge.
Huge, yes.
And we have only a few places.
Now, sir, I want to ask, how did you come to realize this human aspect at a time when whatever, or the line that you're taking is so much detached, let's say, from the government, the status quo of your country, let's say, and other European countries?
Yes. I think that I will come back again to this crisis. This crisis delegitimized the governments in Europe. It's the end of a sort of legitimacy we've had before. And the people will realize that they've been in a way trapped. So even if the governments continue on this, on the same direction, I'm almost sure that making also an evaluation of the recent results of the elections in my country, and also the movements in Italy, in Spain, the people in the streets are not so closed. It's a mistake to think that these people are fighting only for their economic situation, for their economic problems. These people, they want to change the society, to make it more just. They are waiting, they are fighting for values. So we think that beyond the fact many governments don't take into consideration the big changes that are ongoing in the global sphere, they don't understand that something is changing, and I don't want to make now to start a discourse
Yes, but
on geopolitics or
would they
geoeconomy.
let such a change take place?
This change,
Yes.
this change, I think it started already to take place. If we
In your country, in Greece?
not only in my country, if we realize that we are in a new period, that the old world, which was delimited in the United States, Europe, and maybe Japan and some very few countries, which meant at that time 15% of the global population. These were the aristocratic areas of our planet. Now there are big changes. Other countries
Are trying to take
power.
power.
Also power.
Yes.
So we are in a transitional period from this unipolar world, where
to
United States
multipolar
with
or
its alliance,
polycentric
yes,
more.
we are going to a polycentric world.
Yes.
This gives many opportunities for a more equal world.
Balanced world.
Yes, very
Professor
balanced
Bsías Evangelos, we're going to stop now for a short break, and then we'll continue more to talk about the Free Gaza movement and your next expeditions to say.
Okay,
A short break and we'll be back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to The Inside. Welcome back, sir. Well, you were talking before the break about this change that is taking place across Europe, and it's not going to be only there is an economic crisis, but rather there's also a cultural crisis.
Yes.
And you yourself, Professor Evangelos, you were also accused of supporting Palestinian terrorism,
Yes.
and you were attacked. And the same thing was also the fate of the ISM, or the International Solidarity Movement. It was labeled as such. Now, why couldn't the people there in Europe accept the fact of you supporting, as a human rights activist, supporting the Palestinian cause?
I think that in the beginning it was a little bit difficult, but after our first experiences and continuing our project, our struggle, I feel that there was a big change also in Europe, in the conscience of European peoples. After 2010, after the crime they did, the Israelis, they killed people, they did this act of piracy in the international waters.
9 people were martyred.
9 people were killed. I was in the Greek boat, and also the Greek boat has been aggressed after 2 hours after they aggressed the Mavi Marmara and the other boats. It was maybe the last boat because they thought it's a Greek flag, a European flag. And it was also a boat that we tried to protect it in a way, so maybe they thought that it will not be very easy to come and take it. They did it. They arrested us. They tortured some of us. All these proofs, we went to the International Tribunal of the United Nations. We gave all these documents because many of us, going back to our countries, we've been for a long period in hospitals. Me, I don't like to talk about me, 45 days in a wheelchair. So this was the way they treated us, the Israelis.
What did your governments do?
Our government, because of all that I already explained to you, was obliged under the pressure of the public opinion to condemn Israel in many international bodies. The European Parliament took a decision. 80% of the European parliamentarians, they voted against Israel, condemning Israel for this piracy act. Of course, you will tell me, yes, they vote against Israel sometime where they are in a very difficult condition under the pressure of their public opinion, but they do nothing against Israel. There is no embargo against Israel. There is embargo against...
Even the Turks, they try to take some steps, but then nothing.
Yes, but if now we try to make an evaluation 2 years after, I think that there is a change. There is a sensitivity in Europe and in other countries. Maybe in the United States it's more difficult because of the media there. But in Europe something is changing. And of course that's why we are continuing. And we have the duty to continue in order not to let the public opinion, the peoples in our countries, to forget
Yes, this is here the point that I would like to underscore is that to what extent are your votes helping the people understand the importance of taking a stand and not being silent, because through their silence they become accomplices in the crime against the Gazans?
After our actions, the people realize again and again that there are those, they care about what is happening to his neighbor, that they have solidarity for their neighbors, and they also understand that the international politics actually maybe they are very poor in values. They are very poor in solidarity between the countries and the nations. But although this input in our societies creates a public opinion which becomes more and more favorable. Situation in Europe and also in my country, even if our government, the Greek government, now changed its traditional policy, which was very close to the, very positive to the Palestinian cause and to the Arabic countries and the Arabic nations. Even this government is in a very uncomfortable position now. And we will keep pressuring him and putting him in this uncomfortable condition unless they change their policy. I can assure you that they are not supported in our countries and essentially in my country. But we have to keep going.
Right. Yes. Do you believe that solidarity work is achieving what it aspires to achieve these days as non-violent resistance methods? Do you believe that the armed resistance is not as important, or it couldn't achieve what the solidarity is trying to achieve, or vice versa?
Now, this is a very big issue.
It is a big issue, yes.
It's a very big issue.
Because you achieved something.
If my country will be aggressed by another country, if they, any other country will try to put us under occupation, we will resist by all means. The choice of the means is something else. The choice of the means is related to the conditions, to the stages of the development of the resistance. We think that we have always to start with non-army, non-violent actions.
Yes, unarmed resistance.
And to continue, because the people, the majority of the people, is not able to become a soldier. So you think that the majority of the people...
Sir,
yes.
Sorry, excuse me. Don't you think that both can work hand in hand? Like the non-violent resistance together with, I can't say it's a violent resistance, it's a resistance. You're defending. Yes.
This is a resistance and it will go hand by hand if it depends on the enemy. You know something?
Right. But
we are not violent people.
Sure.
All of us. I don't think that there are exceptions. They were born violent. But if my country is threatened, if they want to occupy my country, I will try, as I told you, by all means. And there will be all kinds of resistance. The most essential thing is to defend the sovereignty of my country. But talking about the efficiency of the means, in order to be efficient, we have to use all the means, to be very creative, to have
the humanitarian means, the legal
all
means.
These means in order to have the people with us and to be at the level of the conscience of the people and the possibilities of the people to participate in the resistance.
Right, sir. Can you tell us a bit, please, what is the latest concerning the Free Gaza movement? Do you have any more boats now on the run?
Yes, our boat is sailing
Sure.
20 days ago.
Yes. From Sweden?
From Sweden, from Finland, Sweden, Norway. Now our boat is in the Atlantic Sea, close to Spain. In maybe 10 days will be in the Mediterranean Sea. The boat is coming.
What does
It's
it
a
have
very,
on it?
very beautiful boat. And I think that people, they are concerned with the Palestinian cause, but also they are very sensitive on peace issues and peace actions. They will like this boat, which is like a big bird. It's a very beautiful boat. We are sure that maybe at the end of this month, we will travel going to Palestine, going to Gaza. We have this boat and we have ideas. The ideas are still in our mind. But we are ready to develop our ideas the day we will be close to the territorial waters of Gaza. If we are not allowed to reach Gaza, we will develop our ideas in order to make
So
it.
you're giving the
Yes.
Israelis a surprise now because they don't know what's waiting for them.
I think yes, they don't know all what we are thinking
Planning
or
of,
what we are
yes.
planning, but we are not threatening them by violent actions. We would like to make it difficult for them to put them again in front of the
international
public
and
opinion,
yes.
and to show that if they will not accept to be a country like all the other countries, if they will not recognize the rights of the Palestinian people, we will never, I may be old, but we are creating also a new generation of activists. They will be the protagonists of this action, but they will continue this action. Palestine is a source of hope for all of us. Maybe some people, they don't realize that. They say, okay, why for Palestine? Because the Palestinians, they resist more than this 60 years.
Right.
And they are still there, and they didn't abandon their country, and they didn't accept it to be servants. This is why we are with them, and we will remain with them.
Hopefully, many people in the other side of the globe would just have your opinions. Professor Basiaas, a university professor and well-respected human rights activist. Thanks a million for joining us.
شكرا كثيرا. أنا يوناني مولود في إسكندرية في مصر، وأنا والله مبسوط. لو ممكن السنوات اللي جايين نقدر كمان مرات كثير، إلا يوم فلسطين
حرة
حرة
إن شاء الله. Thank you sir. إذن لقاء جديد في الأسبوع المقبل ودائما من الداخل. إلى اللقاء.